everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. So today we're checking out what army tankers go through in boot camp, which I think is not boot camp, it should be basic training, right? This is kind of a long video, 17 minutes long, so sit back and relax. I love watching these training videos because I'm always in awe of these amazing people that volunteer to go do these positions. I get very like proud of these people. I don't even know them, but I guess it's a respect factor. I really respect the people that choose to do this. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to this. Sit back and relax, you guys, and let's get started. Oh, jeez Louise,
Probably
that gave me a
seen this
fright.
before.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
But this is what it's like inside a tank when it fires.
He looks so
Because
casual.
of security concerns, the
so
U.S.
casual.
Army doesn't let outside cameras inside its tanks. But it gave us this exclusive footage of what it's like to train on the inside. These soldiers are training to be tankers in the U.S. Army.
Wow, see, this is it's amazing.
And even though the U.S. has used tanks in combat for over a century, this generation of soldiers could have a unique advantage.
So
These two triggers are to shoot. It's like a video game controller, sir. All you need to do is just hold on to this and press fire.
Game controller. That's such
Video
a
games
interesting
actually helps
reference.
because when you're inside, you have certain controls for operating a gun called Cadillacs, and it's basically like holding a controller.
It's
As soon as
so
they get in that gunner
fascinating.
station, they hold on to that. It's already familiar to them.
Up.
For a video game generation, I think they're doing great on the tanks because this is what they do
Real
at
life.
home, is play with a controller.
That's so
That's what a tank is.
interesting.
It's playing with a giant controller.
Oh my goodness!
Why do you like tanks?
Tanks, just run stuff over, blow stuff up all day. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that all day?
This is why we're here. We're here to fire things and blow stuff up.
Ever since I was little, it's just always been a dream of mine to be able to say, I work on tanks.
People who like big guns and
Respect.
loud noises, 1,500 horsepower engines and fire, I mean, that's how it draw me in.
It may seem like fun, but these soldiers find out during training there's much more to being a tanker than this. And that with the fun comes inherent danger.
Right.
These things can happen to you. You can get crushed, your arms, legs, and whatever it
Right,
is.
and they can roll.
There's a lot of
right?
things that can go wrong in a tank, and we try to tell them about the safety hazards. That way they can be scared of it and then respect
Right,
it through
and be
fear.
aware. Right.
Inside the armor school in Fort Benning,
It's
Georgia,
true.
Army soldiers train to fight with this. The M1 Abrams battle tank,
So intimidating.
nicknamed the Beast, Dracula, and Whispering Death.
What a shot,
I mean,
man.
that is a
camera
70-ton
shot.
hunk of American steel, and it is crazy to think that one of us can get behind the wheel of that thing.
Along with tankers, the armor school trains Cavalry Scouts. Known as the eyes and ears of the battlefield, they train with grenade launchers
Jeez.
and anti-tank weapons.
Oh, so they work
Armor
together.
is basically the term that the United States military uses for when it comes to any kind of mechanized force. Our main goal is force on force with armor on armor. Scouts and tankers were the armor community.
Place your weapon on platform, Private.
All enlisted armor soldiers must complete 22 weeks of one-station unit training.
Put on safe, knucklehead.
After 10 weeks of basic training,
Bronze
trainees go
knucklehead.
through 12 more weeks of advanced instruction. Base pay starts at about $22,000 a
Oh,
year.
for training, right?
Insider spent 4 days inside the armor school, where we saw different groups of soldiers at various stages of training. Once inside Fort Benning, it's about a 45-minute drive to Hastings Range, where soldiers train to drive the tank and use its weapon systems, including a 120mm cannon and mounted machine guns.
So what are a few things after watching the video that you guys noticed you did wrong?
When I needed to save the gun on the last shot, I missed the handle.
You gotta shoot low, see where your bursts are hitting, and then walk it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Growing up, I feel like a lot of kids play video games, they see the tanks in the games, and you know, it's everyone's dream to be inside of a tank. But being on top of one, being inside of one is a completely different feeling. It was way better than I could have imagined. It was amazing.
Oh, wow!
But tanks emerged long before the era of video games. First used in combat in World War I. The U.S. Army transitioned its horse-mounted cavalry branch to a fully mechanized force in the Second World War.
The lessons of World War II have taught American Army men the need for tanks, tanks and more tanks.
But what we have now is the capability to take a tank on.
During Week 1, trainees get an up-close look at the evolution of American tanks and those used by the enemy.
So when that gun fired on a light aluminum vehicle, it was a religious experience because it bucked like a bronco.
After decades of evolution, one tank emerged as the Army's weapon of choice. The M1 Abrams.
It's fast, ain't it? Look how fast it is!
Unit cost of about $9 million.
Jeez, $9 million!
It debuted in combat during the Gulf War and remains the Army's main battle tank.
See, that camera shot is so intimidating, my goodness gracious
the tank
me.
commander, the gunner, the loader, and the driver.
Small
the driver
in there
sits
too,
at the
hey?
front of the tank's hull. The other three occupy the basket attached to the tank's turret, which moves with the turret when it rotates.
Wow!
How does one drive a tank?
It's a throttle like a four-wheeler. You're holding it, you throttle to go faster. Driving, I would say, is the easiest part of being on a tank.
What was it like in there when you actually fired
so
the round?
Small in there, hey?
Just like a really strong gust of wind hits you. There's some dust flying. I mean, it was insane.
The smell inside the tank, that smell is just, you only get it inside the tank. You can never get it anywhere else.
What does
I can't
it smell
explain
like?
it, so it's just, you gotta experience it
What
yourself.
does it smell like? Like metal,
Do you
right?
feel safe when you're
Or
inside that tank?
Gunpowder?
No,
or...
sir.
No, why?
I don't have an answer for that, sir.
Do you think because you know that anti-armor guns could take you out as well? Is that kind of why? Or?
No, sir.
Okay.
When they get inside that and they see everything, it's daunting. It kind of scares them because there's so much that can happen. There's so many moving parts. These things can happen to you. You can get crushed, your arms, legs, whatever it is. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in a tank, and we try to tell them about the safety hazards. That way they can be scared of it and then respect it through fear. And it helps them throughout their career and understand that, hey, I know what this is going to do to me if I'm in the way.
Man, respect.
See these little dudes, they just fall right in there, huh? The big boys gotta like crawl in there.
Before they operate the tank, they go over the proper procedures step by step.
So the parking brake is set, correct?
Go ahead and disconnect that and then put it back together. All right, so we're driving around, also is a fire. What's the first thing we do?
We turn towards the wind.
You ain't gonna alert nobody? You just gonna start dipping out on them?
No, sir.
Okay, so what do we do first?
They learn about the tank's features.
Just like that.
And its limitations.
This way.
Where's the bathroom on the Abrams?
Sir, there is no bathroom on the Abrams. There's in the bathroom.
No, there's no restroom in the tank. Like, everything inside the tank is meant to destroy the enemy and continue the mission and finish the mission.
Right.
Where's the bathroom on the Abrams?
In the bottom.
Yeah?
It's a bottle. There's no bathroom in there.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Soldiers spend part of training in the motor pool, where they learn how to maintain the tank's components and its weapons. They learn how to repair the tank's tracks and wheels using tools like sledgehammers.
Alright. We teach them how to do things out here to where they can troubleshoot anything out there because they already know the steps and stuff like that. Just so they know what they're doing in like a safe environment versus, you know, if we're out on the range and something were to happen, they didn't know what to do.
They're going through the clear, disassemble, reassemble, load, unload, and perform a functions check on a 50 cal. It's a M2 50 caliber machine gun. It's one of the weapon systems on the tank. It's mounted on the top of the tank. They do have to be trained and proficient with it. You're proficient in every station on the tank and every weapon system in case something happens to someone on the crew.
Makes sense.
It's considered a small arms weapon, mostly because it does have the 120mm main gun.
The Abrams tank's 120mm smoothbore gun fires a variety of rounds that can destroy other tanks up to 3,000 meters away.
So this is M865 training Sabo round. This is what we use to simulate our service Sabo ammunition for training. Weighs approximately 35 pounds. The blue aluminum petals are discarded when it is fired. The silver spike is the actual sub-projectile that goes downrange impacts with the target.
Jeez.
The tank can hold 42 rounds total. Our service ammunition is designed to penetrate through enemy armor, and then it has a devastating effect on the inside of the vehicle.
Jeez Louise. That is just...
Come on.
Bloody massive.
This one's a little bit heavier. This is the M1002 training MPAT round. When a service round of this type hits a target, it will blow up on the outside of it, and it forms a jet stream of copper. I'm going to set it back down.
Is it heavy?
It is a little bit heavy. So
how much does that one weigh?
This one's about 62 pounds.
Holy!
They're expected to be able to load that 62-pound round in about 7 seconds.
The rounds aren't light. When
strong.
loading, you have to be fast and efficient.
How have you trained physically?
A lot of push-ups.
That's a movie, not a picture. Female soldiers became eligible to train for combat arms positions in 2016. Today, about 4% of the soldiers training in the armor school are women.
There are mostly male soldiers. I wasn't expecting a lot of females to be here when I first showed up. I expect the same treatment that the males get.
Do you feel like you've gotten that?
Yes, sir.
Among soldiers training to be Cavalry Scouts, the percentage of women is even smaller, only about 2%.
What is a Cav Scout?
So a Cav Scout is basically the eyes and ears of the brigade.
The eyes and ears of the commander.
The eyes and ears of the battlefield.
The eyes and ears of the battlefield. So you're going in and you're being sneaky and trying to figure out the enemy and their positions.
Scouts get sent out before any other larger elements such as infantry or heavy armor.
Man, what a scary job.
So it's basically the Cav Scout's responsibility to make sure that an area is either clear or if that there are enemies in an area, we're relaying exactly what they're doing up the chain of command.
Blank rounds are used during this training exercise. During the shooting,
You supposed to be shooting right now? No, Sergeant. Why are you shooting?
an instructor alerted this soldier that while he was aiming toward the enemy, his fellow soldiers were in the path of his rifle.
That's bad, and that's something we got to stop right away. You get the adrenaline going, you kind of zone in on one thing, you get the blinders put on.
Right.
In a training environment, that's absolutely when you want to do something like that, so it can be corrected and fixed.
I had never fired a weapon before I joined the Army, sir.
Really?
No, sir.
No hunting or anything like that?
No hunting, sir. It's definitely become more familiar and normal. It's just basically a part of the uniform at this point.
Cav Scouts get hands-on experience with even more powerful weapons, like the M320 grenade launcher, which attaches to the M4 carbine, and the At4 rocket launcher.
The reason why Scouts are learning how to utilize this weapon system is because we would need to be able to destroy enemy armor vehicles. Tanks, definitely a civilian vehicle would not stand a chance against this.
The At4 is a single-use weapon. After it's fired, it can't be reloaded, and each live round costs about $2,000.
Oh my goodness.
That's why soldiers in training learn to aim and fire it using 9mm bullets.
Loaded.
Oh, makes sense.
Although the soldiers don't fire live rounds themselves, instructors demonstrate what the At4 can really do.
Clear.
Oh!
This is something that the soldiers look forward to. It provides them with the capability of them actually being able to destroy enemy armor vehicles.
As armor soldiers, tankers and Cav Scouts are technically teammates, but there's a competition between them.
I've heard that there's like a saying for like Cavalry Scouts. It's like,
if you ain't Cav, you ain't shit. You're not shit if you're not a Cav Scout.
If you ain't Cav,
you ain't shit. There it is.
But tankers tend to disagree.
The scouts are just, to me, they're just jealous because they have to walk into the woods and hide there and play hide and go seek on a professional level, while us tankers get to chill inside this steel beast that has AC and a heat.
A Cav Scout's mission is to gather intelligence to share with their commander, who may decide to send in tanks to engage the enemy.
When we need the tankers, we need the tankers, and when they need us, they need us. We give each other a hard time, but we really need each other.
Scouts report a section of enemy armor in your sector. Defender report.
The partnership is simulated in live fire exercises.
108, at this time, battle carry Sable. Prepare for a defensive engagement. Ensure you're in the defilade. Report recon 1. Target.
Instructors observe and command the soldiers from a tower overlooking the range.
108 and 103, updated air and barrel follows.
Thermal cameras show the targets more than 1,000 meters away.
Target.
I'm giving each individual tank the proper commands of what to expect, what they're going to shoot, when to move. It is my job to ensure that the tanks are identifying and engaging the proper targets.
They could be deploying to Korea or Kuwait or Europe. It could be anything, and we just tell them, hey, you need to be prepared mentally, financially. Make sure you talk to your families and all this, and just be ready for anything. As soon as you graduate, you're gonna hit the ground running.
It feels great knowing that I'll be able to go out and serve this country one way or another. It's a little scary knowing that I might be going away from home, but I know my family will be waiting when I get back. I never thought that I would make it this far, and my battle buddies kept pushing me forward, not letting me quit, and it pays off in the end a lot.
They change a lot in terms of like their discipline and their camaraderie with everybody. And you know, in day one, they don't have that. They've never built the brotherhood with each other. But at the end of the day, they know that they have to work together, because that's what we do in the United States Army. Like, we have to work together, because without that, like, we're nobody.
Tell me about these boots here. I've never seen anything like them.
During the Battle of Bulge in 1945 in Germany, and the infantry were out there in the muck, and the tankers were inside the Shermans, and it was so cold that the boot laces of the infantry were breaking. So the tankers took the boot laces off and gave it to the infantry. We took our belts off, put around our boots, leather straps. But most importantly though is boot laces are flammable. Leather straps are not. So having the least amount of flammable items on you while inside the tank is where you want to be at.
Are they comfortable?
Oh, this is all I wear. I don't wear any other boots. I'll ruck in them, I tank in them, I do everything in these boots.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome. That was really cool to learn about the Cav Scouts and the tankers working together. I didn't know that was like a thing, but it makes sense, right? And I love the kind of little rivalry that they have on between each other. I think, you know, it's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of like teasing. But at the end of the day, you know that you're going to be there for each other when the time comes. You know, I love those kinds of rivalries and relationships. There's so many that I can think of, and it's heartwarming, I think. Very interesting to learn more about what goes on in the tank as well. 4 different jobs to do in the tank, very limited space. It was really interesting. The woman, she was asked if she felt safe in the tank. She said nope. She said no sir. Like they said in the video, so much can go wrong in a tank, and I feel like at that moment she respects the danger. She knows there's so much that can go wrong. They kind of emphasize like never get complacent in a tank, right? They're kind of taught to never be complacent, which I think is a really, of course, a good thing, because they talked a lot about what could go wrong, and so many things could go wrong, so you should never let down your guard in a tank, which is really good, I think, because there's definitely been stories in the past that I've heard, like tanks rolling or tanks getting stuck in water, and you know, just horrible things happening. So yeah, big respect. The fact that they go to the job or the training that they're doing, they want to be in an unsafe environment, is, you know, it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. I have so much respect for them, both the Cav Scouts and the people in the tanks. But let me know what you guys thought about this video. I really liked this video. There's a few other ones that I want to get into. There's a sniper school one, so let me know if you want me to do that one. I probably will anyway, because that really interests me. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video with me today. I will leave the original video down below. The Business Insider has tons of videos on there on military trainings and things like that, so go check them out if you do want to, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.
Go grab the stove, control gonna smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. They help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more. Tell me what I want, just keep searching on.